Hello, my name is Marian, and I'm from the blog Miss Mustard Seed.
And I'm Kriste. I'm from the blog Rosemary and Thyme.
And we're going to talk about different design trends in the Design Ramblings series. If you missed our first one, this is our second one. And we actually have, you can see the studio this time, as opposed to the white wall, which the white walls, I think that was a photography thing, because that works really well for photography. But then as we watched the video, we were both like,
boring.
What's with the white wall and the blank table? Like, who thought of that? So
she did.
I did. It was me.
All responsibility.
It was me. So we decided that we would talk about different design trends, and one that came immediately to mind was deer heads.
Yeah.
And deer and animal heads. I guess we could, and I'm sure you all know what we're talking about, because there's deer, like the deer head silhouette. There's like pink deer and purple deer heads, and they're made. I mean, disco ball deer heads.
I have not seen that, but
I haven't really either. I'm sure there is one. And I think we kind of have hopped on that bandwagon to an extent. I think we like that trend, but we're both undecided if this trend should stay for a while or should go.
Yeah.
So we'll maybe decide at the end.
Talk about it, and then at the end we're going to decide and let you guys know on our fancy chalkboards what we think. Right.
So what's your initial thought about deer heads, animal heads?
I think it depends on how it's done. Like for me, I like neutral things, so like white or natural colors I'm all for, but we were talking the other day about like turquoise, like the neon thing. That's something that I don't personally get, but
because I can see why people like the fake deer head.
Yeah.
Because it's a deer head on your wall, or the antlers with the skull, and I would say, even though it creeps me out a little bit, I like antlers. And I think that goes back to when I lived in Germany. You saw that a lot, like in the little, quaint villages and stuff. You'd see, it was pretty common to see little stag antlers up on the wall. So I think for me, it sort of reminds me of that. So I've been hanging them on. I started the trend, in case you didn't know, years ago.
News break.
Right. No. But a few years ago, I did put some antlers up, and I remember I wrote a post called, like, elegant or ooh? Like, do you like it or is it gross? And it was really interesting, like, what a hot debate, deer antlers were. So I do like them. I do have them in my house. I haven't quite gotten up the gumption to do, like, a full deer head.
Yeah.
But
well, we have like an actual set of antlers and a skull that I painted. Yeah. And it looks a lot better now that I've painted it, but at first when I put it up on the wall, it was very eerie.
So what color did you paint it?
I painted it white. So I got once this trend came in, I wanted to get, a couple pairs for the house, and I looked for them all over the place, and they were pretty expensive. So then I thought, well, I live in Pennsylvania, and there's tons of people who hunt, so let me just ask around.
Right.
So my best friend's dad, he's like crazy hunter. Like one of the first times I went to visit them, he ran into her bedroom and turned all the lights off, and he's like, look outside. And we looked outside, and there were all these deer in the backyard.
Hey, okay, can I turn the TV on now or go back to my computer?
So anyway, so he actually had a shed full of them, and he was like, well, just take whatever you want. So she brought home a couple for me. One has a skull, and then one is just a set. And so I painted them white and stuck them up on the wall, and right now we have like Christmas lights around them for Christmas. And
so the white kind of well, I think that's the thing too. People are decorating their deer heads.
Yeah.
Like with lights, with little pom-pom garlands or little pennant banners
flower
or
crowns.
Scarves.
Yep.
So they're like it's a little pet.
It is.
Like if you don't want to deal with the hair and the clawing and walks,
there
you just get a deer head and decorate it. Put a little leash on it. Name it.
Always.
Yeah.
I haven't named mine yet, but now.
I'm surprised because
it's a problem.
She likes to name things. Yeah, well, we live in Pennsylvania, and so I find deer heads and antlers and all kinds of things at yard sales. Sometimes, though, I can't handle the
Oh, with the hooves?
The hooves when they're like
Not okay.
there to hang you hang your hat on the hooves.
No.
I have kind of an issue with that. And then I think we're seeing a lot of animal heads in general. Now, I am sort of a fan. I have a cow head in my kitchen.
Right.
I like that. I have a wreath around the head, and I feel like it sort of made it look like a prize-winning cow. You know how the horses get the the garlands when they win something. So I thought it sort of elevated the cow. But I like that. I think for me it reminds me of like an old European butcher shop or something where they have the bullhead hanging, the metal bullhead hanging outside. It was funny actually when I first shared the cow head. I had it on like Instagram or something. And it was just, it was very brown looking, so you couldn't, it was hard to really discern all the features and everything. And some people thought it was real, that it was like a real, like, stuffed cow head above my, above my stove. Like, I don't know. It's metal, calm down, everybody. Yeah. Because I don't think you would want a stuffed head right above your...
I mean, some people might, but
yeah,
I couldn't do that.
So some ways that we've done deer, like we did this this glitter deer for Christmas. This was just like a plastic deer that we found at an antique store, and we put some school glue on it and covered it with some German glass glitter from my glitter line, of course. Little plug, from the glitter line. And so I like it this way. I think like it looks Christmassy. I wouldn't leave this out year round, but I do like it this way.
Yeah.
I think by itself though, not glittered, I don't know. I wasn't too into it, not glittered.
No, I think a big thing we always talk about too is like the face of animals in decorating really matters. So sometimes it's like super cartoony or almost too lifelike. Like the face really matters. And I remember especially on that guy, it just was not. It's not good. It's not good. But, I don't know. I think that, like, we did those little, those snow globes.
Yes.
And a couple of, like, the smaller deer that we left just plain. I like those.
But those kind of look like Bambi.
I know.
So they're, like, sweet little Bambi deers. So, okay, so.
All right, let's vote.
Let's do it. Oh, I have one more thing. I think I do like my friend Barb Blair of NAC. Have you seen her paper moose head?
Yep.
I think that's pretty cool.
I love it.
Those paper mache things I think are pretty cool.
Yep.
So I think that's, of all of the alternatives to the real thing, I think that's my favorite.
And people are starting to do, I saw like laser cut, so it's like wood pieces that are laser cut and they actually fit together like puzzle pieces.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I really, really like that.
So you buy them flat and then you assemble them and then they hang on. I think that's kind of cute for a kid's room.
Yep.
Because I was telling Kriste I had like 3 deer head stories. And one was I hit a deer with my car, unfortunately, for the car and the poor deer. And the deer, some hunters came. They were very excited about it because it was apparently a very impressive, like 17-point buck. And so they came and got it, which I was glad for too, because then they were able to, actually use, I don't know if they ate the meat or what they did, but I know that a couple weeks later, I got, a friend came in and he had a printed picture of a mounted deer head. And it was my deer head. They had mounted it. So I'm like, well, I hope they wrote, they'll write like who shot it, where, and what the year. I'm hoping hit by Marian Parsons in Northern Virginia near Route 7. I don't know if they did.
I take credit for that.
That's right. That was my deer, my prize deer. And then I also, my opa had a deer head on the wall of his den. And he actually had a hornet's nest hanging from the deer head.
Oh my.
Which I think now I can appreciate. I think that like texturally it looks cool, it's all natural and everything. But I actually so I'm there sleeping on this sofa bed with the deer head.
That is my nightmare.
Looking at me, and I'd have nightmares. I'd be laying there looking at the deer with like creepy shadows across it. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, nightmares about the deer. So I don't think deer head belong in kids' rooms. So all that to say, I think the laser cut deer head.
Yeah, it's a little more friendly.
Better for the kids. Okay, so should it stay or should it go? We don't know what we're each gonna say.
Don't look at my answer. I don't know what I'm gonna say.
We were talking about this. It feels like a survivor moment. So, I'm writing a qualification. Okay.
That's not fair.
All right,
And
are you
I
ready?
took up all my space. Fine.
Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. So what'd you say?
See, I was gonna write depending, and then I decided not to.
Okay, so you have a qualification too.
I do.
So I think it should stay. I like it done naturally, and when it looks, I don't know, when it looks good, I think.
Yeah, and
it
I
should
think,
stay.
like, it depends on the styling of it, and I also think it depends on how the rest of your room is done, because I think sometimes if you take a trend and just kind of stick it in with what you're doing and it doesn't match at all, it doesn't work. So I think, you know, if it fits with what you have and you can style it accordingly, super.
I think that's what I don't like about what's going on with the deer head right now, is that you're seeing it like everywhere, like T-shirts with the deer head on it, and then you're the back of your cell phone case with like a glittered deer on it, and then I think it's like getting out of hand, kind of like Chevron.
Trendy.
Like it was,
man.
Chevron. Everybody was excited about it, and now it's like everything is Chevron. So it's like, okay, enough. So I feel like the deer head's a little bit like that, but I don't think that hanging antlers on your wall is ever going to go out of style, especially for like a study or a, certain, like you said, certain room styles.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that I think we are going to see a lot of deer heads and antlers, like artificial ones, on clearance racks and in thrift stores, and like next year. I think we're going to see that. Yeah.
Cool.
So there you go. I'd love to hear what you think about deer heads and the deer trend in general. So please let us know, and we'll have a little rambling about it, maybe in the comment section. So there you go. Deer heads should stay sometimes.
Depending.
You know where else I like the deer heads is, have you seen those French chandeliers that have on the arms, they're actually like deer heads? They're kind of, they're not like crystal, but they're made of like, they're brass, but then they have crystals inside.
I haven't seen that.
I'll just show you. I mean, it's very like kind of chateau-ish.
Over the top.
Yeah, it is. It'd have to be in the right room. Yeah, we're ready.